One of the areas of AP Fitness is financial fitness. You probably don't think about that as something when you think about APfit, but it's very important. And I'm here to tell you about this with my 5 tips for financial fitness. Tip number 1 is pay your bills. The most important part of financial planning is understanding what you can spend, keeping to a budget, and paying your bills on time. So I'd suggest making a budget, figuring out what you make, what you can spend, what you're gonna save, and then plan it out. And most importantly, pay your bills on time at the end of the month. Otherwise, you get into debt and you start paying money that you make out to the bank as interest. Certainly, if you have not paid off your credit card bills, you should try to pay those off right away. There's high interest rates for that, and so you're basically just pouring money down the drain, paying those interest rates. So you gotta pay those bills on time. Tip number 2 is plan for tomorrow. There's many things that you're gonna want in your life, whether it's that house you're looking for, your retirement, education for your kids, maybe a big trip that you've always wanted to do. Any of those need some savings, and you're gonna have to start thinking about how much they're gonna cost and where that money's coming from. There's a couple great ways to save. For retirement, the 401k is the best way to do that. AP matches some of the money that you're gonna put in that 401k, and that money you put in the 401k will be tax-free. Another great way is the 529 plan for college education. If you live in a state that has state income tax, your state will have a college savings plan that will make that money tax-free. That money grows over the time frame, and you'll be able to pay some of that college education with that money. There's many ways to save money, and that leads to tip number 3, ask for help. Don't think that you can do this on your own. There's people who spend all day long thinking about the best way to invest money and how to grow your money, and that's where you should reach out and get some help. If you don't know anybody, I would first ask your friends who they use. If they don't have anybody or you don't know anyone, go to fidelity.com. You can just open an account with $50, and they have advisors there that would help you understand what your needs are and help you plan towards those needs. Fidelity is the company where the 401k is held, but in addition to that, you can also have tax-based investment savings with them or growth opportunities with them that they will help you plan and put it into the right areas. Tip number 4 is give yourself credit. One of the important things in the financial industry is understanding what your credit score is. That credit score is used when you try to get credit cards or when you're going to get a mortgage, as well as a number of other things. So understanding what your credit score is and then understanding some of the things that will boost your credit score are very important. You can go to annualcreditreport.com once a year to look at your credit report to see if there's anything on there that would not be right and to make sure that it's consistent with what you've been doing from a credit perspective. Another option is creditkarma.com. They'll give you your score and give you some other tips that may help out. If your credit score is under 679, Experian has a product called Boost where they'll give you some suggestions on how to improve your credit score. And my last tip, tip number 5, is reward yourself. When I say that, I'm thinking about the rewards you can get from credit cards. Credit cards are a great thing to have. The real benefit is the rewards they provide. Whether you like to travel, you could get hotel or air miles, or whether you like to get cash. Some of them will give you 2% cash back. I had mentioned earlier about my 529 plan. I have a Fidelity 529 card that I've had for 25 years. Ultimately, I paid for 1 semester of private school tuition, room and board with the money I got through that 529 plan. So it really made a difference in my life. Another example of a credit card is Fidelity has a 2% rewards card, which could go into your 529 or just into an investment account. The most important thing about getting that credit card though is paying that bill on time, back to what we said in tip number 1. But you also should remember that credit card interest rates get very high. Another reason to pay those bills on time. The Points Guy is a great resource for finding the credit card that meets your needs. They offer all kinds of information on the various credit cards, whether it be travel or cash rewards. So that wraps up Rob's 5 financial tips. Hope you found some value in those. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm not just here to answer your computer questions, I'm happy to answer your financial questions also.